You know what I mean? Now, last news story for today. This is something that I want to talk about that I thought was interesting, right? So most of us are aware of the famed coach John Thompson from Georgetown. He was a coach at Georgetown for several years, 20-something, 30 years, I think. Throughout his time at Georgetown, he was able to positively affect the lives of a lot of black men, right? Allen Iverson, Dikembe Mutombo, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, and a host of others were men who he was a man who actually stepped up to help them, right? Whether it be a mentor or just the coach, but I take my hat off to him because he went a step beyond just being a coach. Like, he was a mentor to him. He taught him a lot of things. He had their back in the face of adversity, in the face of different types of racism. And the biggest thing I thought about when I seen this story, a couple things, and this is kind of leading into my conversation about baby mama, baby daddy ideology and all that shit, right? In our community, a lot of times we'll have, and this is not all, but a lot of times we'll have young men who don't have male role models, right? Who don't have a father, who don't have an uncle or somebody living in their home that can actually give them game and give them positive attributes when it comes to manhood. So what happens is, when we don't have that in our home, when we don't have that in our circumference, then we rely on a coach or we rely on a mentor or something like that, right? Excuse me. And my whole thing is, yes, we need mentors in our community. Like what John Thompson was able to do with these young men. Like, I remember seeing Allen Iverson, like, he loved that dude. Like, crying about him. Like, Allen Iverson is my favorite player of all time, by the way. I seen him crying when talking about what this dude did for him, right? So a part of me says, when I see that, as a melanated man in this society, I say, okay, we need more men like that. Right? We need to make sure that we're going back to our communities. You ain't got to be a coach. If you coaching and you good at coaching, yeah, but it's important that we go back to our communities so we can have a positive impact on the young men there that don't got nobody. You know how many young dudes in the hoods that we grew up in, a lot of us grew up in, where they don't got no guidance, where the dad not there for whatever reason. So we need mentors, right? But also, what I was thinking, and as men, because I always give the disclaimer, I'm aware of how systematic racism works. I'm aware of how the systematic injustices with the prison industrial complex, with crack being thrown in our hood, there's a lot of elements. When the welfare system was introduced and the man couldn't live in the home, there's a lot of systematic elements that have put the black man at odds with the black woman. So I'm aware of that, and that's something that we need to be aware of and we need to talk about. But at the end of the day, we got to step up as men, man. We got to step up as men. Our kids shouldn't be relying on a coach for the tutelage that we should be providing, right? And again, we cannot be providing this for whatever reason. You could not have been ready to be a father. You could be on drugs. You could be in jail. You could be in the system. All that can be a factor. But at the end of the day, it's 2020, family. It's 2020. We need to begin figuring out a way that we relate with each other the right way. Like, we're laying down with the right woman. We're laying down at a time when it's time to have a baby. We're doing it when we're ready. We're not allowing our children just to be accidents of birth like it happens so often in our community. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times we have kids, and then after that, decide what kind of life we want to have for them. After that, decide we want to have a solid relationship with the other person. That's ass backwards, y'all. That's ass backwards. So I say rest in peace to the brother John Thompson. He was an integral part of our community, whether people want to say it that way or not, because the brother spoke up for black folks too. Like, he was unapologetically black and knew that some of the kids he was taking in had problems, but he didn't let the white media or other white coaches sway his opinion on what he knew he can do for these kids. So that's commendable, because we got a lot of coaches, and we need to be wary of this, because we're lucky we have men like him out there, because we have a lot of coaches that take advantage of a single mom. They see it's a mom by herself, and she don't really got a dude around. She ain't got a man. There's no male there's no male energy around, so they can put the kid into all kind of deals or do all kind of shit to the kid that's not going to be beneficial for him, but it's going to be beneficial for these universities. We need to understand how these universities treat our children when they realize they're not going to be of use to them no more, or how they treat our children when they realize they're going to be a star athlete, so they get to kissing their ass and presenting them with all these opportunities that if a man was around, they would be more respectful of how they present what they're presenting. You feel me? So my whole point is, as men, we need to step up. As men, we need to step up. If you a man and you got kids, you need to make it a point to be in your kid's life regardless. You see what I'm saying? I've been in a lot of situations as a parent, but at the end of the day, I know for sure, me being a positive man contributing to society, moving in the right direction while taking my kids along for the ride, while teaching my kids different things, being there for them, being a positive male influence, because let's not get it fucked up. There are some men who are so toxic. There are certain men who are so mentally off balance that they won't be no good to a kid. See, because we always want to say, if you're a father, be around your kid, be around your kid, be around your kid. Yes, that should definitely happen. But what if he ain't shit? What if his mentality is going to be more of a negative effect on the kid than a positive effect? Then we got to take that into account too. See? So we can't just create these blanket statements about what should be. Sorry, y'all, my nose keep on itching and shit. We can't just create these blanket statements about what should happen without looking at the context and the character of the person. But generally speaking, yes, we need to be there. It's the whole point of me creating Melanated Fathers of America family is figuring out ways to teach young fathers, unassuming fathers, that, hey, your presence in your child's life means the world to them. Yes, money is important. Yes, resources is important. Yes, being with the mother is important. But most important is a healthy relationship with your child. Knowing that you're there for them. Your child knowing that they can call you if they need something. If you making sure you talk to them about shit. Make sure you keep them around you. Make sure you try to bring them to your house. You see what I'm saying? All of these things are important because to me, if you have a coach like John Thompson, and then you have a strong father too, they come together, that's going to make the kid even more unstoppable. You see what I'm saying? That's going to put the kid even in a more advantageous situation where they can be successful. So yes, we need mentors in our community, and I'm happy we had men like John Thompson who took these little black boys from these fucked up environments and gave them a way out, gave them a way to provide for their family. That's beautiful. But at the end of the day, a coach shouldn't have to step in. A coach shouldn't have to step in. A coach should be in addition to what you actually doing in your house with your kid. Coaching's information and their tutelage should be an extension of what you've already provided for your child. You know what I mean? So dealing with corona and all of these diseases that could be man-made, could be not, dealing with all of the injustices that black people, that melanated people have to deal with at the hands of this society, dealing with how hard life is in general, we gotta be more prideful in stepping up as men. We got to be more prideful in stepping up for our people. You see what I'm saying? And that's your children, but that's all of us. So like I was saying last week, a very revolutionary act, family, is just being there for your goddamn kid. You want to be revolutionary, but you don't want to go out and march. You don't want to go to meetings and read different books about it and be a part of the movement in that way. Fine. Be the best father you could possibly be. And then you got to know when you're not. You got to know when you're not doing things the right way. You could be trying your hardest, but just doing it the wrong way, which I've been there. You see what I'm saying? So you got to know how to scrap that shit. Like, all right, what I've been doing ain't working. Let me try a different way. Let me try a different way to communicate, right? Read some books about it. Like, do some research about it. Talk to some people about it. Because some of us got to understand we operating from a mind state of some of us not having fathers. So if you didn't have a father in your life, how do you be one? Really? If you was raised by a woman, all you seen was a woman conducting business, a woman being emotional, a woman being upset, a woman disciplining you. So how are you then supposed to turn around and discipline a kid like a man? You see what I'm saying? So we got to be honest about that, family. So I rest in peace to the brother John Thompson. We need more men like him. But as fathers, we got to step up. Feel me? So that leads